We're in our 95th year now, meaning that in 1919 the firm was founded by John McLane, known as Judge McLane.
We called him Judge, but that was a nickname. He was never actually served as a judge. And he was married to my grandmother, Elizabeth. We called her Ibis. He was one of the founders of what we now know as Child and Family Services, but the child advocacy he and my grandmother were very involved with.
Just after John McLane formed the firm, he was joined by Ralph Davis, the second lawyer at the firm. Ralph Davis served as the Attorney General for the state of New Hampshire, which at that time was just a part-time job. You could have a private practice and be Attorney General, which is not the case now. Since that time, we've had a number of Attorneys General at the firm. The name of the firm at that point was McLane and Davis, and it only expanded from there. In 1925, John Carlton joined the firm. It's worth spending a moment on John Carlton because he was a very accomplished skier. In the year before he joined the firm, was a Rhodes Scholar, and while at Oxford was invited to captain and be on the United States ski team for the 1924 Olympics in Chamonix, France.
He showed me the article that showed him doing a somersault in the air. He was like one of the first ones to do it, and he had those like big long wooden skis, and he was actually just a really little man, and so you know, to envision him on those long skis was really something.
John McLane's secretary in the early years of the firm was Harriet Mansfield, Miss Mansfield to you.
Miss Mansfield's office was always sort of encased in a haze of smoke because she smoked constantly and she worked constantly. The joke was always that Harriet Mansfield's car didn't have an engine in it and it just sat outside in her spot all the time.
The McLanes left for a European trip. The lore is that Miss Mansfield asked Mr. McLane what she should do while they were gone, and he told her to read the law, which she did. She became the 9th female attorney in the state of New Hampshire, and the first female attorney at the McLane law firm.
She was clearly a force to be reckoned with. She was every probate judge. Bob Wells could tell the story much better than I, but my understanding is every probate judge wanted to know what Miss Mansfield thought about probate problem.
In 1932, Kenneth Graff joined the McLane law firm.
He was not one to compliment you, but if he asked you to do something else, that was his way of saying you're doing a good job. He was a master negotiator.
In partners meetings, Mr. Graff would typically say nothing until he said something, and then that was the last thing that would be said on the topic. That courtesy is one that hasn't been afforded anyone since, and certainly not me. Other attorneys who unfortunately are no longer with us who joined the firm in its earlier years were Stanley Brown, Arthur Green, John McLane Jr., who joined the firm in 1941, Bob Rollerson, and Peter Guntham.
We've been extraordinarily fortunate. We've been able over the years to hire very, very good people. A lot of them are still here, but a lot of them have gone on to their own careers elsewhere, and it's been a great experience for me to see young people come.
McLane is a community. It's too big to be a family now, but it's a community of people of shared ideas, and those ideas are excellence, caring about each other, and service to clients.
The future will bring a lot of changes in the law, but I hope there is a standard at the firm, and I was taught it right from the beginning, giving back to the community.
For me, the legal education and the early legal experience was critical to set me on a path. But if I had to point to anything, it's my engagement in the community on nonprofit boards and getting involved in different issues that has really led me to be successful to run for the United States Congress.
We're about as big as we can get here, so we're growing in Massachusetts, and You know, we've always been very frugal as a firm, very thrifty, but I looked at the offices we've got down in Massachusetts and said, wow, they look pretty good for McLane.
The work that we did to expand to Concord, to Portsmouth, to Woburn, show the foresight that we have had as a firm really to become a regional leader in the field of in the legal field here in New England. So I'm very, very excited about the future, probably more excited about the future than the past, because the past you can't relive, and the future you can think about.